Excuse me, sir? I had a couple questions about some topics me and some of the other sailors around the ship have been talking about. I was hoping I could ask you a few questions.
Yeah, sure. Come on in. Have a seat. Better Castellano. So what did you want to know?
Well, sir, a couple of us were talking about sexual harassment and assault, and we're not really sure what all that entitles. Can you help us understand that a little bit?
You know what? I have a perfect way to explain that.
Shipmates was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Well, we gotta head back to work, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, man, you want these back?
Yeah, that'd be great. My bad, man. Here, let me get some of these. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, man. It was good playing with you.
Yeah, I know. You have a good one.
Hey, man, good game.
Greetings, Carl Vinson. My name is Senior Chief Snow, and I'm the Sapper POC on board the ship. Sexual assault has the ability to affect everyone in the fleet. So what does sexual assault look like? Let's take a look back at that last scenario. Obviously, this is unwarranted and very unprofessional, but it also constitutes sexual assault. Sexual assault is defined as anyone who commits a sexual act upon another person in the following circumstances: without that person's consent, while that person was asleep, unconscious, or otherwise unaware of the act, or when that person was unable to consent due to intoxication or mental defect. Now that we know what sexual assault is, let's play out a few more scenarios to see if our command triad approves or disapproves of our shipmates' interactions.
Hey, thanks for playing, man.
Thanks for having me.
It was a real pleasure playing with you.
It was.
Hey, good game, man.
Thanks, man. You too.
It's a pleasure.
If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, just know that you do not have to suffer in silence. Know that there are two ways that you can report the incident. One way is a restricted report. A restricted report can be reported to a Sapper VA, the SARC, the Deployment Resiliency Counselor, and medical personnel. No PII is provided, no NCIS investigation, and you will receive SARC and Sapper VA support. The second way you can report a sexual assault is an unrestricted report. For an unrestricted report, it may be reported to the Sapper VA, a SARC, medical personnel, chaplains, legal department, or the chain of command.
Another sometimes more common thing that affects sailors is sexual harassment. Hello, Carl Vinson. I'm Chief Cadian Wallace, one of your command simios. Sexual harassment is a form of gender discrimination that involves unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature.
Alright, next we're going to relieve the nozzleman, guys. Go ahead.
I'd like her to relieve my nozzle, if you know what I'm talking about.
Alright, test for agent.
I'd like her to test my agent.
Both of these situations constituted sexual harassment. There are three things to keep in mind when trying to determine what makes it sexual harassment. It has to be unwelcome, it has to be sexual in nature, and it has to affect the working environment. Now let's try this again to see what our shipmates could have done differently.
Alright, host team, stay low.
She is a great leader, and I respect her very much.
See? That's much better. Overall, it's quite easy. If it affects the work environment and it is sexual in nature, it is not okay. If you are affected by sexual harassment, you have several options. First, address your concerns regarding the incident directly with the person demonstrating the harassing behavior. Then, notify the chain of command if the objectionable behavior does not stop, the situation is not resolved, addressing the objectionable behavior directly with the person is unreasonable at this time, or The behavior is criminal in nature.
All right, I understand a lot better now.
I'm glad I could help. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Actually, one more thing. I'm not entirely sure what constitutes fraternization.
That can be tricky to understand at times, but I do have a great example.
Well, I'm coming for you, Clefairy. You're not going to get away from me this time.
Jimmy, what are you doing? Are you playing Pokemon Go?
Yes, sir. Is that a problem?
Of course not, man. I play Pokemon Go.
No!
Who do you have,
I
dude?
got everyone. I got Charmander, I got Charmeleon. Play downtown sometime. There's this awesome gym down there, right next to Midway. There's a bar next door, too.
I like it.
And go get a drink afterwards.
Yeah, you're right here. You with
I
me.
like this.
I like it.
I think we're going to become real good friends.
Special friends.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
Personal relationships between officers enlisted are always prohibited. There's three main relationships that are prohibited by Navy fraternization policy. The first are all personal relationships between officers and enlisted. The second are relationships between enlisted or between officers that are unduly familiar or that do not respect the differences in grade or rank. And the third is any unduly familiar relationship that would cause a breakdown in the good order and discipline between the members involved. An unduly familiar relationship is a personal relationship. It's not a professional one. It's between a superior and a subordinate that does not honor and regard the differences in rank and superiority that are customary in the naval service between a superior and a subordinate. You can engage in certain levels of personal relationship with those people who are of the same rank as you. If somebody's in a position of authority over you, even if they're of the same rank, that still could be fraternization. If you look to your peers, those are the people you can develop relationships with. You'll hear a lot of sea lawyering about one rank up, one rank down, that it's okay if you fraternize with somebody as long as they're near you in your pay grade. That's all false. There is no such policy. If a sailor has a question about what might be a personal relationship, what might be unduly familiar, they should ask their chain of command. Additionally, there is no sex allowed on board USS Carl Vinson. Violations of the Navy's fraternization and sexual harassment policies could subject a sailor to disciplinary action under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Disciplinary outcomes could include captain's mast, court-martial, or other adverse administrative actions.
Superior Castellano, did that help you understand the topics we discussed today?
Sir, I think I'm tracking now. Yes, sir.
Okay, great, because those are two very serious issues that can affect good order and discipline and the ship's mission. Do you have any further questions?
I don't, XO. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
No, you can stop by any time, and if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to stop by. Hey, pleasure to help you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Take care.
First of all, I would like to welcome everybody to the Carrier Strike Group 1 Carl Vinson team. We are all an important member of the team. I know it's very exciting to come on board, and sometimes when people are excited, they say or do things that maybe they shouldn't have. It's important that you recognize the fact that something might be going wrong, you apologize up front, and you deal with any misunderstandings right off the bat before they get out of hand. Well, one thing I want everybody to understand, no matter what command you work for on board Carrier Strike Group 1's flagship, you are a key part of our mission accomplishment. In order to be successful, it takes all hands efforts. There will be time when you feel like you might be riding, but there are always going to be times when your mission accomplishment, your devotion and your contribution to the mission cannot be done by anybody else. Whether it's something as mundane as washing dishes or compacting the trash, to pressing the fire button on a missile system or a catapult, it takes all of that, all of us coming together, working together in order to accomplish the mission. It's important that we treat each other with dignity and respect. Respect your ship and respect your shipmates. One of my tenets I've always lived under is nobody should have to check their six. When we walk around our ship and when we respect our ship, we respect each other. Nobody should have to deal with a catcall or a sarcastic comment, male or female. We should all be able to do our job and be professionals. This ship has wonderful resources. If there's ever a time where you think you need some help or if you think you're not being dealt with appropriately, please seek out those resources, whether they be our resiliency counselor, our chaplain, our CMEO representatives. We have many, many folks that can help you out, and there are folks standing by to make sure that you adapt, overcome, and can contribute to our mission at hand. So for many of you who have served for a long time, 29 years plus for me, we may think we've got this all figured out, and we've been doing business, and we will continue to do business the way we always have. But times are changing. As we head out towards the Western Pacific, we are going to have different challenges and different opportunities than we've experienced over the last 20 years going to CENTCOM. Please pay attention. Please learn your trade. Please be ready. Making this video today, it was just yesterday that a U.S. ship was fired upon by an air-to-surface missile. Those ships were forced to defend themselves. It is a key component of us being able to defend ourselves that all hands are ready. Whether you work in medical, the flight deck, or in the galleys, every sailor's a fireman, every sailor's a firefighter. We all need to be ready. Air Wing and ship company alike, at no time in our history are the world's oceans in more flux and change, and our presence and our capabilities are needed.